Good morning. Patty made me wear my bib this morning so I didn't drool over the Duck victory. So that's enough of that. I don't want to rub it in because I realize we're amongst a mixed crowd here. Hope everybody's having a terrific Monday. A few things I wanted to go over. First thing you need to get on your calendar, a lot of you need to get on your calendar, January 10th is the national championship, and one of the teams, I think it's Oregon, is in that this year. So get that on your calendar. That's a Monday, January 10th in Glendale, Arizona, for those of you that may be fortunate enough to go. The rest of us, I'm sure, will be huddled around our TV. Okay, business meeting tomorrow in Eugene. We've got a fun agenda tomorrow, kind of talking about what didn't work last year and what's going to work in 2011. Judy says we get about 10 minutes to whine about the market this year, and then it's on to positive things. So that's tomorrow morning, 8:30 at the Eugene Country Club is breakfast, and 9 o'clock is the meeting. December 9th is the day to return the gifts to the Giving Tree here in the Eugene office. If you took a CASA gift ornament, I think there's just a few left. We've done a great job getting those. I appreciate everybody's help with that. So those are due back the 9th, which must be a lot like Thursday. So please make sure to get those back. Also, we're continuing to collect pajamas for CASA up in the Corvallis and Albany office. So go ahead and bring those in. And Christy has more information on those if you need more information. Want to talk about this week. I noticed in the paper, which typically does not have great economic news, it never seems to, there's been a series of articles, fairly consistently better economic news. I know the job numbers came out at the end of the week last Friday, and they weren't as great as we want. But when you start looking at articles, and you can see the gross domestic product has gone up, and you can see consumer confidence is up, and you can see holiday sales are up, we're starting to see some things, and I don't want to read too much into it, but you haven't seen those kind of articles in the last 3 years. It's always bad, bad, bad. So we're actually starting to see some positive stuff. Does that relate directly to the housing? Eventually, not very fast, unfortunately, but consumer spending, which is 80% of the economy, that makes the economy grow, and they are seeing that consistently trending up. Not just a blip in the, every once in a while we get a blip, but things are starting, there may be some light at the end of the tunnel. So I thought that was really good news. The other thing you want to make sure you're sharing with your buyer clients, if you watch interest rates on a weekly basis, as I do, they're starting to trend up a little bit. And I've said before, I think that will actually spur a little bit of buying activity. I think the buyers have been out there with home prices really low and interest rates really low. There hasn't been a hurry to do anything. Well, as interest rates are starting to trend up, and they expect them to continue to trend up, I think it's pretty safe to say we've hit rock bottom on interest rates. So for your borrowers that are out there kind of waiting for home prices to see what happens, interest rates, the cost of money, really affects things sometimes more than the cost of the house. As we learned from last week's trivia question, the average payment changes by 10 to 11% with just a 1% interest rate change. And so we've seen those rates tick up a little bit. So if you've got buyers that have kind of left the market because they're waiting to see if the houses get cheaper, if it's bottomed out, you might want to talk to them unless they're paying cash, which most people are not. Money is not getting cheaper, so it's time to take another look at that. And I think that is a call I would be making to my sphere and people that I have that might be on the fence. I was talking to Renee Swartz last week here in the Eugene office, and she gave me a website that I wanted to pass on. Paint.net. Paint, like paint a picture, .net. Apparently, paint.net is a website that you can go on to and enhance your photos of houses. Renee and Mike and I were having a discussion how a lot of agents, none of ours I'm sure, just kind of take some pictures of houses and throw them up on the internet. And when you look at the people that take the time to crop them right, focus them right, go onto websites to enhance them. And when I say enhance, I don't mean redo the house or remove trees or add second stories. I mean just make them look the best they can without being misleading. I think that when you look at those on the internet versus those that aren't, you can really affect the number of houses that get, your number of showings your listings have. What we need to remember now, 5 years ago when you didn't have 100 pictures of every house on the internet and virtual tours, people went and physically saw them, whether it would be for a drive-by or a walkthrough. Well, now a lot of houses are getting viewed online, and they're disqualifying a lot of houses. If there's 30 houses in their price range, and when I say their price range, that may be their realtors previewing them online for them and saying, nope, that looks horrible, that looks horrible, that looks horrible. So photos are a big deal, and I think it's important to take a little bit of time. And this paint.net is a website that can help, and Renee's also offered to do classes for us on how to enhance those photos, so we're going to take her up on that, so watch your schedule for that, probably right after the first of the year. Birthdays. Annula Stuckart in the Corvallis office is having a birthday on Saturday. Remax anniversaries. Linda O'Brien this week on Tuesday or Wednesday is going to be here 12 years. Wow, Linda, how time flies. Scott Steig, who manages our graphics department, does a great job. Scott will be here 1 year this weekend, if he can make it. Now, that's another 5 days, Scott, so you got to put up with Patty that long. And then Jennifer Fiddler up in the Albany office has been with us a couple years as of Sunday. So that's what I got this week. Hope you have a terrific week.